His sister? Oh, she was the school's untouchable goddess, beauty queen, academic prodigy, and everyone's dream daughter-in-law. And him? Well, he was the guy everyone pointed at when they needed an example of what not to be. While she was showered in admiration, he was generously awarded the title of freeloader-in-chief. Why? Because fate decided his grand, world-shaking awakening would be, drumroll please, weak electricity. Yes. Not lightning. Not thunder. Not Zeus to destruction. Just the kind of static shock you get when you touch a doorknob after walking on carpet. His classmates joked he'd end up running a pig farm at home, zapping piglets for fun, and mooching off his family's glory. Some even claimed a mosquito bite carried more power than his so-called ability. But oh, how wrong they were. Behind the scenes, our walking power outlet actually had a secret. His body carried the legendary twin ability physique, something so rare most people thought it was a bedtime story. And hidden beneath his discount taser power was the true monster, Violet Sky Divine Thunder. The kind of ability that could roast colossal beasts like popcorn at a summer fair. And colossal beasts were no joke. You see, this wasn't plain old Earth. It was a world running parallel to Blue Star, same smartphones and social media, but with a bonus, skyscraper-sized monsters casually stomping around like they owned the place. To survive, every human awakened their own supernatural ability when they reached adulthood, each one ranked neatly from F to S tier. Most people only got F to D, functional but unimpressive. He, however, was stuck with the absolute bottom rung, weak electricity. The kind of power that, even if he squeezed every ounce of strength out of his body, still couldn't outshine a $2 stun baton bought from the discount aisle. No wonder he was the class clown without even trying. In the tense silence of Jankang No. 2 High School, the chalkboard screamed a single sentence in white chalk. One day until the unified exam. The room was heavy with nerves, except for a few students who were already sweating like dumplings in a steamer. At the front, teacher Chen Fan adjusted his glasses with the solemn air of a man about to announce a national emergency. Liberal arts students, he said. Prepare your IR stationery. Half the class exhaled in relief, already picturing themselves scribbling essays instead of fighting for their lives. Martial arts students, Chen Fan's tone darkened. Prepare your IR combat gear. And weapons. That little addition, weapons, made the martial arts students sit up straighter. Then came the real bombshell. Anyone with an awakened ability below D rank. I strongly advise you not to take the martial arts exam. You're practically signing your own death certificate. Cue dramatic silence. In the back row, Xu Jingming smirked. Oh, teacher, you really do know how to make a guy feel special, he thought. Of course, the warning was aimed directly at him. Why? Because Xu Jingming wasn't your average high schooler. He was a transmigrator, a poor soul who had somehow been yeeted across universes into this place called Blue Star. At first glance, Blue Star looked pretty normal. It had smartphones, fast food, and way too much homework. The only difference? This world came with a bonus feature: giant, ferocious, bloodthirsty beasts. The kind that treated humans like free delivery snacks. To fight back, people awakened superpowers at the age of 16. The powers were ranked from F all the way up to S. Most folks, sadly, ended up in the F, D range. And Xu Jingming? He drew the short straw. His grand awakening? E-rank weak electricity. Yes, E-rank. As in, one step above. Utter trash. But still worse than your grandma's faulty hairdryer. At best, his ability produced sparks roughly equivalent to a cheap stun baton you could buy at a night market. Not exactly the stuff legends were made of. While Xu Jingming was pondering his fate, a shadow fell across his desk. Huang Tian, the blonde-haired class peacock, leaned over with the smirk of someone who thought he was the hero of the story. So, Xu Jingming, Huang Tian drawled, tapping his desk. You still planning to take the martial arts exam? With that E-rank joke of an ability? Don't embarrass the school. Just stick to liberal arts. Who knows? Maybe I'll hire you as a clerk in my company someday. Xu Jingming's smirk didn't budge, but before he could fire back, a sharp voice cut in. Mind your own business, Huang Tian. It was Lin Qin, her eyes blazing. She stood up, glaring at him like she just caught him kicking puppies. Huang Tian scoffed, clearly enjoying the drama. Fine, fine. I'll prove who's best during the exam anyway. But don't blame me when your little friend here dies in the exam grounds. He threw a final cruel glance at Xu Jingming before strutting off, probably rehearsing his villain monologue for later. When the air cleared, Lin Qin turned to Xu Jingming with softer eyes. Don't listen to him. Maybe, choosing liberal arts isn't such a bad option. Her words were gentle, but Xu Jingming stayed silent, his face unreadable. Instead, his gaze drifted to the Great Xia Unified Exam registration form sitting on his desk. In bold letters, it listed his pitiful E-level elemental ability. In the Great Xia Kingdom, life paths split neatly into two, liberal arts or martial arts. The former promised stability, an office job, paperwork, maybe a dog and a mortgage. The latter? A blood-soaked trial by combat, where students fought beasts in a designated arena. Survive, and you could enter an ability user university, where years of brutal training could transform even a nobody into a force to be reckoned with. Teacher Chen Fan's warning and Lin Qin's concern made sense. They were afraid he wouldn't come back alive. But Xu Jingming knew the truth. Even if he chose liberal arts, he could never escape the shadow of the beasts. And then the memory hit him like a lightning strike. A tide of beasts. The chaos. His parents lying still in a pool of blood while he, a powerless child, knelt and cried. That pain burned brighter than any E-rank spark. Gripping his registration form, Xu Jingming rose from his seat. His eyes gleamed with stubborn fire. "No," he said firmly. "I'm taking the martial arts exam." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Xu Jingming was still in the training hall, sweating buckets while wrestling with a long spear. Sparks of blue lightning jittered up and down the shaft like a cheap festival firework. "HYA!" he yelled, swinging the spear in what he hoped looked like a powerful strike. In reality, it was more. Enthusiastic noodle slap. Then, Thunder God's judgment. After a few swings, his body gave out. He let out a jaw-cracking yawn and collapsed onto the floor like a pancake, his spear clattering beside him. 2.5 years of practice, he muttered to the ceiling. And I'm still basically at tutorial level. He had shelled out 300,000 hard-earned credits for a technique called Lightning Gale Break. The name sounded like it could tear mountains in half. In his hands, though, it was barely enough to knock over an unlucky chicken. Sure, it made him a little stronger than the other E-rank scrubs, but still, chickens. And the grim reality? The death rate for below B-class students in the unified exam wasn't just high, it was climbing every year. Like a bad stock market trend. The thought made his chest tighten, but instead of despair, something else lit up in him. Determination. If he wanted into an Awakener university, he had to fight tooth and nail. No shortcuts. Or so he thought. Dragging himself up, Xu Jingming approached the training hall's testing machine. He clenched his fist and hovered it near the panel. Suddenly, BWM. A blue holographic screen blinked to life. System activating. He froze. Eyes wide. Wait, hold up. Don't tell me. Sure enough, the next message popped up. Would you like to claim your newbie gift package? Xu Jingming's jaw nearly hit the floor. This wasn't just a screen. This was the legendary transmigrated cheat system. The thing every poor sap thrown into another world dreamed of. His shock quickly morphed into manic excitement. He slapped the claim button without hesitation. Ding! Newbie gift package claimed. Plus 200 ability points. S-rank ability unlocked. Purple Heaven Divine Thunder. Xu Jingming blinked. Then blinked again. Did you just say S-rank? In Xiaoa, an S-rank wasn't just good. It was the golden ticket to instant stardom. Universities fought over them. Nations bragged about them. With one, you skipped the whole miserable pig farmer destiny and went straight to future god of war. For a moment, Xu Jingming was speechless. Then the grin spread. Heh. From static shock to thunder god. Talk about an upgrade. But then pain. Oh, the pain. The system dumped the new power straight into his heart, and it felt like being microwaved alive. Purple lightning exploded out of his body, ripping his shirt to shreds. A progress bar appeared midair. Slowly climbing. 42%. 53%. 78%. Meanwhile, the apartment around him was less, training hall, and more. Disaster zone. Windows shattered. Walls cracked. On the street below, people screamed and pointed. Mom, look! A dragon! A kid shouted, pointing at the colossal lightning dragon swirling in the sky above the building. Adults panicked. Some called the fire department. A military commander miles away raised Jiangqing's 3rd Legion to high alert. In a nearby skyscraper, a suited man squinted out the window. Is that a beast invasion? Nope. Just one E-rank shrimp going through puberty, System Edition. Back inside, Xu Jingming writhed, lightning ripping him apart and knitting him back together. The dragon in the sky dived, funneling into his body like divine energy pouring into a mortal shell. At 100%, the torment stopped. Silence fell. The system chimed cheerfully. Ability transformation complete. Xu Jingming lay gasping amidst the rubble, then slowly clenched his fist. Purple and blue lightning crackled over his knuckles like a living storm. His old mosquito zapper power was gone. This felt like one punch could level a house. He grinned. Then glanced at the wreckage. Shattered windows. Cracked walls. His landlord was going to kill him. Maybe I overdid it just a tiny bit. But then he remembered, he still had those 200 ability points. Jackpot. System. He said, licking his lips like a kid about to open Christmas presents. Open status panel. A holographic sheet unfolded, listing. Name, Xu Jingming. Rank, Unranked Awakener. Ability, S-rank Purple Heaven Divine Thunder. Ability points, 200. He nearly drooled. Ability points could level up stats, earned normally by killing fierce beasts. In other words, the grind. Except he just skipped step 1. Logic kicked in. All power comes from body and spirit. So, let's juice both. The system whirred, and his physique and spirit skyrocketed. Purple lightning swirled around him like a crown. He threw a test punch. Boom! A vortex of energy blasted across the room. Half the rubble got vaporized. The panel updated. Physique, 141. Spirit, 160. Not bad for a guy who yesterday couldn't outzap a toaster. Xu Jingming clenched his fist again, eyes glowing with excitement. With this power, getting into an Awakener University will be a piece of cake. Then his grin faltered. Although, there are still 700,000 other candidates, including geniuses trained since birth. He kicked his spear up from the floor, caught it, and slung it over his shoulder. Guess I'll just have to find out how I stack up. He was just about to leave when, bang! The door burst open. 3 firefighters stormed in, armed with hoses and extinguishers. The lead firefighter blinked at the wrecked room. No flames. Just rubble, lightning scorch marks, and a very smug teenager. We got a call about a fire, the firefighter said flatly. Xu Jingming scratched his head, looking perfectly innocent amidst the destruction. False alarm. Just ability training. The firefighter stared for a long moment, then sighed. Youngsters these days. He waved his team out, but not before throwing Xu Jingming one last look. Not fear. Admiration. Because anyone who could cause that much commotion while training was destined to make waves. And Xu Jingming? He was ready to ride the storm. The fire truck rumbled away, sirens fading into the distance. Xu Jingming, now freshly dressed in his school uniform with his trusty spear slung over his shoulder, strolled down the street like nothing had happened. Xiao Ming! Called Uncle Yang, the friendly neighborhood uncle who had seen it all, wars, beast tides, and too many nosy neighbors. You okay after that, fire? Xu Jingming chuckled. All under control, uncle. Just training. Uncle Yang's eyes dropped to the spear. Diligent, even with the exam tomorrow, eh? Good boy. He gave him a thumbs up like Xu had just brought honor to the entire neighborhood. Narrator's note. If Uncle Yang knew his training had almost blown a hole in the sky, he might not have been so quick with the thumbs up. In this world, martial arts halls weren't just gyms. They were survival factories. Every awakened needed to temper their physique and spirit, and since not every family could afford a private training chamber, or pay the repairs when their kid accidentally blew the roof off, the halls provided safe and reinforced grounds. There were 2 famous chains, Brutal Bear and Thunder. Brutal Bear, expensive, luxurious, and basically a playground for rich kids who didn't mind paying to be yelled at by elite instructors. Thunder, free for high schoolers, crowded, noisy, and much more relatable. Naturally, Xu Jingming's destination was the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. The place was packed, buzzing with nervous students cramming in last-minute training before the unified exam. As he entered, Xu Jingming spotted a familiar face, a girl with long black hair, sharp red eyes, and the "Don't mess with me" aura of family. His cousin, Tanji. He walked up, spear in hand. Tanji? What are you doing here? She blinked, clearly surprised. I just came with a friend. Oh. Well, don't let me keep you. Have fun. Xu Jingming excused himself politely and headed toward the training rooms, all calm and collected. Behind him, though, Tanji stared. Something about her cousin seemed different. Stronger. Her cheerful friend Xiaoya, who had the energy of a caffeinated squirrel, leaned in. Who's that? He's so handsome. That's my cousin, Xu Jingming. 3rd year. Taking the martial arts exam tomorrow. Xiaoya practically swooned. Oh, he'd make such a perfect boyfriend. Cue the teasing. A male friend snorted. Look at you, falling in love at first sight. I'm serious. Xiaoya protested, still starry-eyed. Tanji decided it was time to burst the bubble. His awakened ability is only E-rank. Like a balloon being popped, Xiaoya's fantasy deflated instantly. What a pity, she wailed. The male friend smirked. Still commendable. E-rank trash taking the martial arts exam? That's gutsy. Tanji frowned. Courage is meaningless when the risk is so high. The mood soured, so someone quickly changed the subject. Anyway, we came to check out the hall, right? Yes. Xia chimed in, trying to bounce back. I've been at Brutal Bear all through high school. Coming here to relax before the exam feels fun. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming slipped into an empty training room. A pristine round target stood waiting. He tightened his grip on the spear and frowned. It felt lighter. Too light. The weapon hadn't changed. He had. His body was stronger now, the system's enhancements practically humming in his veins. Still, with the exam tomorrow, there was no time to hunt for a better weapon. Fine. Let's see what this body can do. He took a deep breath, tightened his grip, and thrust. Bang! The spear slammed into the target with bone-rattling force. A spider web of cracks spread across the supposedly indestructible surface. Above it, a digital display flickered. 321. Xu Jingming's eyes widened. His raw physical power had doubled. For comparison, the average unranked awakened topped out around 100 calories. He was 3 times that without even using his ability. A grin crept over his face. Time for round 2. His eyes glowed faint blue. Arcs of purple and blue lightning danced across his skin, wrapping around his spear until it crackled like the wrath of heaven itself. With a powerful leap, he brought the weapon down. K-boom! The room exploded in light and sound. When the smoke cleared, the display screamed. 3021. Xu Jingming nearly laughed. The benchmark for a first-tier awakened was 1000. He wasn't even officially ranked, and he just tripled it. But he wasn't done. Oh no. This isn't my limit. Gathering every ounce of strength, spirit, and skill, he poured his essence into one ultimate strike. The spear blazed with condensed purple lightning, the energy focusing into a single orb at the tip. Break! He roared. The world seemed to split as the spear struck. A colossal purple explosion engulfed the target, shockwaves rattling the entire hall. In the main stadium, students screamed. Earthquake! As the ground shook. On the training floor, Tanji, Shirya, and their friends stumbled, wide-eyed. The male friend muttered. That power, that's not student level. That's an awakener. The group shared stunned looks. Could it be? A new genius in their midst? Driven by curiosity, they rushed down the corridor. And there he was. Xu Jingming, calm as a mountain, casually wrapping his spearhead in cloth as if he hadn't just blown up half the training hall. Tanji? He said evenly when they bumped into each other. I'm heading home. Need to prepare for tomorrow. Then he walked away, cool as ever. Forget him. The male friend scoffed. The energy clearly came from that room. Let's check. The group peeked inside, and froze. Total devastation. The advanced memory metal target was obliterated. The reinforced wall behind it? Reduced to rubble and craters. The entire room looked like a beast tide had come through. Shirya gasped. Even memory metal got blasted through. Do you know how impossible that is? The male friend shook his head, touching the cracked wall. No high schooler could have done this. This has the violence of a second-order ability user. Another friend nodded. Exactly. Even the geniuses in the provincial capital couldn't wreck a room like this. Shia wasn't convinced. But Xu Jingming was the only one nearby. What if he's secretly a hidden super genius? Her friends burst out laughing. You've been reading too many novels. You rank trash? At best, he can hit 300. That crater's at least 3,000. They turned to Tanji for her verdict. She'd been quiet, staring at the ruin. Finally, she murmured. Maybe. Her hand brushed the wall. The impact marks were clear, long, sharp, spear-shaped. A memory of her cousin gripping his spear flashed in her mind. Xu Jingming, are you really just overestimating yourself? Or are you hiding something bigger? The next morning dawned crisp and bright. The perfect weather, if you ignored the fact that hundreds of teenagers were about to risk their lives in the most stressful exam ever invented. Dozens of buses rumbled up to a massive fortress-like venue, releasing students who spilled out armed to the teeth with spears, swords, bows, and the occasional oversized hammer that made you wonder if someone had mistaken the exam for a medieval cosplay convention. Among them was Xu Jingming, calm as a monk on vacation, his spear slung casually over his shoulder. He didn't strut, didn't fidget, just walked with a steady rhythm that screamed, I know something you don't. The students gathered by a towering steel fence, staring into the exam grounds, a sprawling ruined city that looked like someone had tried to play urban renewal with a nuke. Awe, dread, and teenage panic spread through the crowd. One nervous boy muttered. Did you hear? Last year's exam had rabbits. Actual rabbits. This year, they're releasing unicorn rhinoceroses. The word rhinoceros alone nearly caused the group panic attack. Then, as if on cue, an arrogant laugh cut through the chatter. Everyone turned to see a tall, long-haired young man with a broadsword so large it could double as a door. He sneered at the trembling students. Pathetic. If you can't handle a unicorn rhino, you might as well go home and knit sweaters. Silence. No one dared argue. Even the wind seemed embarrassed for them. Nearby, Xu Jingming's best friend, Lu Ji, elbowed him. Who's that clown? Zhou Mingyang. Xu Jingming replied, his eyes narrowing with the faintest spark of interest. Ah, makes sense. Lu Ji muttered. B-class ability, already a first-order user. A prodigy. The kind of guy teachers brag about over dinner. Xu Jingming smirked faintly. A prodigy, huh? He was curious to see how this genius stacked up against him. Before he could muse further, a booming voice shattered the air. A scar-faced man in a military uniform stood atop a vehicle, radiating the aura of someone who had seen, and punched, far too many monsters in his life. I am Commander Wang Hiang, he barked. Chief Examiner. Listen carefully. The students snapped to attention. The exam lasts 12 hours, 9 a.m. sharp to 9 p.m. Your battleground is this city ruin. It's divided into 4 zones: outer, central, inner, and core. The deeper you go, the deadlier the beasts, and the higher your score. His tone grew grim. But let me be clear, the core area is not mandatory. Consider it the bonus question. Attempt it only if you're desperate for glory, or suicidal. Your lives matter more than your scores. Nods, gulps, and one kid quietly whispering. Can I just take the liberal arts exam instead? Xu Jingming, however, wasn't nervous. Not anymore. Before his recent awakening, he would have been grateful to survive the outer ring. But now his blood burned with ambition. His spear hand itched. The core zone wasn't a death trap, it was a challenge. When supplies were distributed, Xu Jingming approached teacher Chen Fan, who handed him a tactical backpack. Inside, a smartwatch to track kills, ration bars, a drink, a med kit, and most important of all, a safety ball that created a high-voltage grid for last-ditch defense. Chen Fan fixed him with a firm gaze. Remember, your life is worth more than any score. Don't hesitate to use this. Xu Jingming nodded. Thank you, teacher. Before he could leave, a familiar voice called his name. Lin Qing came running, her eyes full of worry. At her side was class president Lu Qin, a C-rank user radiating knight in shining armor energy. Join our team, Lin Qing urged. We'll protect you, Lu Qin added confidently. Immediately, a student in their group sneered. Protect an E-rank trash can? Are you insane? He'll drag us down. Yeah, another chimed in. This is a competition, not charity. Lu Ji's fists clenched, but Xu Jingming gently held him back. Instead, he smiled politely. I appreciate it. Truly. But I'll go alone. Lin Qing's face fell, but she nodded reluctantly. The objector smirked, muttering about finding Huang Tian instead. Xu Jingming just watched them leave, a knowing smirk curling his lips. Let them laugh. They'll be the punchline soon enough. Then came the announcement. Exam start. Drones buzzed into the sky, live streaming every moment for the hungry masses. The colossal gates creaked open. Like a floodgate bursting, students surged forward, shouting their goals, their dreams, and in one case, their grocery list. Zhou Mingyang rocketed ahead, using his wind powers to soar like a smug bird of prey. Tang Qi and her friends darted into formation. A girl with a giant sword marched in with grim determination. And Xu Jingming? He simply jogged in at his own pace, steady and calm, like a man on a morning run. His spear gleamed in the sun. He tapped his smartwatch, checking the leaderboard. Already, Zhou Mingyang had racked up 7 points. Xu Jingming smirked. Good. That just makes it more fun. Instead of wasting time in the outer zones, he veered deeper into the city ruins, heading straight toward the danger. But then, he froze. On the cracked pavement ahead lay a student, lifeless in a pool of blood. A safety ball still clutched in his hand and used. Xu Jingming's chest tightened. The boy hadn't even had time to activate his last defense. Reality crashed down. This wasn't just an exam. It was war. He bowed his head, summoned the retrieval function on the fallen student's smartwatch, and whispered under his breath. Rest well. Then a noise. A shadow flickered. From a ruined building, a clawed paw slid into view, followed by glowing purple eyes. The beast had set a trap. A shadow cat. Agile, lethal, and infamous for killing newbies like it was swatting flies. It lunged, a blur of claws and fangs. But Xu Jingming didn't flinch. His eyes narrowed. Lightning crackled faintly along his spear. With a sidestep smoother than butter, he let the beast slice the air. The cat landed, growling, its killing aura pressing down like a suffocating fog. Any normal student would have frozen. Their body would have locked up, their strength cut in half. That was how beasts won. But not Xu Jingming. He wasn't normal. He braced. The cat sprang again. Purple lightning surged across his weapon. Break. The spear thrust forward, precise and merciless. The tip punched through the cat's skull in a blinding flash. The beast crumpled, lifeless. Xu Jingming exhaled slowly, his expression calm. The aura hadn't touched him. Not even a flicker of fear. A blue holographic window popped up. Kill confirmed, Shadow Cat, unranked fierce beast. Points earned +3. Xu Jingming lowered his spear and smirked. So this is the martial arts exam? Good. Let's see how far I can really go. Xu Jingming flicked his wristwatch, the venue's map glowing faintly on the screen. He frowned. 3 measly points for an unranked beast? What is this charity work? Killing weaklings wasn't worth his time. Besides, their so-called intimidating aura rolled off him like a mosquito's buzz. Nope. If he wanted real gains, the central area was the only place worth his legendary footsteps. So he marched in deeper, like a man striding into a buffet with an empty stomach. Shadow cats? Sliced. Iron-furred pigs? Skewered. Wolf-like mutts? More like kebab meat. Each gave him 3 to 5 points, which was nice pocket change, but there was a problem. His brand new S-rank power was too strong. It one-shot everything. No struggle, no resistance, no chance to practice his moves. Worse, the power guzzled energy faster than a sports car on turbo. His old E-rank could run for hours like a cheap but loyal power bank. This new one? Couldn't even last an hour. And the exam was 12 hours long. 12. If I blow all my juice now, he thought, I'll be drooling on the floor by noon. So he made a decision, go old school. No flashy thunderbolts, no divine dramatics. Just him, a spear, and pure technique. That's when the ground trembled. A monster stomped into view, a unicorn rhinoceros, bipedal, towering, built like a bulldozer with an ego. It roared, then casually tossed the wrecked car aside like a soda can. Any sane student would have screamed, written their will, and run. Xu Jingming? He smirked. The rhino charged, horn lowered like a freight train. The impact sent him flying, but instead of panicking, he flipped midair, eyes glittering with mischief. Using the beast's momentum, he dove straight down and drove his spear into its skull with surgical precision. Boom. Game over. As the beast collapsed, he landed lightly, dusting himself off. He blinked, slightly confused. Wait. That felt easy. Did my spear technique just level up mid-fight? A system chime answered him, spear technique intermediate stage. Points, 256. Xu Jingming grinned. So stabbing works better than zapping, huh? Noted. Without hesitation, he dumped his fresh points into upgrading the skill again. A tsunami of advanced spear techniques poured into his brain like someone had just uploaded a kung fu DVD collection into his skull. He clutched his head, groaning. Okay, who ordered the brain download? When it settled, he was left standing taller, grip firm, a predator's smile on his face. Alright, where's a first-rank beast? Daddy's got new moves to test. Meanwhile, in another corner of the outer zone, Lin Qing and her squad crept through ruined streets. Suddenly, Lin Qing froze, squinting at a silhouette in the distance. I think I just saw Xu Jingming. Her teammate nearly choked. What? Xu Jingming? Out here? Are you sleep-deprived or just hallucinating? The guy's E-rank. If he walked this deep in, he'd already be Beast Chow. Lin Qing frowned, unconvinced. Before she could argue, another teammate shouted. They rushed over, only to find the corpse of a freshly slain unicorn rhinoceros. Blood still steaming. They examined the wound, one clean, piercing strike to the skull. A spear strike. Lin Qing's eyes widened. Could it be him? Don't be ridiculous. Another scoffed. That thing takes a C-rank minimum. Xu Jingming couldn't spear a watermelon without tripping over his shoelaces. Fine, one suggested. Let's just check the leaderboard. The watch screen lit up. Lin Qing's jaw dropped. No way. Xu Jingming, second high school, 46th place. 256 points. Her teammates stared, speechless. Faces pale, logic shattered. Nope, one muttered. Must be a glitch. Or another guy with the same name. Definitely. Absolutely. But none of them sounded convinced. Meanwhile, in the land of bureaucratic comfort, far, far away from the chaos of exploding beasts and flying spears, a group of officials and VIPs were living their best life, seated in plush chairs, sipping tea, and pretending their commentary was valuable. Rows of giant holographic screens displayed the ongoing entrance exam, filled with flashes of battle, lightning, and the occasional explosion that made everyone gasp dramatically. One overly smug spectator leaned forward. As expected. First high school dominates the top 10 again. Predictable brilliance. He pointed proudly at the leaderboard, where a name sparkled in first place, Xiao Mingyang, 412 points. Our city's golden boy. Another chimed in. Surely he'll make the provincial top 100 this year. We haven't had one in ages. At that, Director Jiang Wenshan of the Jiang Education Bureau gave a laugh so rich it could buy a yacht. Of course. Mingyang is our ace. First high school has always been the pride of Jiangqing. He turned to the principals of first and third high schools, giving them the politician's version of a gold medal. Flattery. Outstanding work. Your institutions continue to shine. Both principals bowed humbly, smiling the polite smiles of men who'd rehearsed humility for decades. Then the director's gaze slid to Principal Xiao Yao of second high school, the man who suddenly wished he'd called in sick. Director Zhang's tone turned sweet as spoiled milk. Principal Xiao Yao, your school must try harder. Your best student is only 18th. That's quite the gap. Principal Xiao Yao laughed nervously, a single bead of sweat gliding dramatically down his temple. Ahaha, yes, we'll absolutely improve next year. Inside, however, Xiao Yao was setting the director on metaphorical fire. 18th place isn't that bad. We've got 8 in the top 50. That's something. He mentally listed their names, nodding proudly, until one stuck out like a typo. Xu Jingming. Who in the world is that? He frowned. Chen Fan, he said to the teacher beside him. Who's this Xu Jingming? Teacher Chen blinked. Xu Jingming? Wait, you mean that Xu Jingming? Xiao Yao raised an eyebrow. You know him? Chen Fan's jaw hung open. I graded him. He's the E-rank kid. The one whose ability was weaker than a cheap taser. The room went quiet. You could hear the bureaucratic tension crackle in the air. You're saying? Xiao Yao asked slowly. Our weakest student is currently ranked 46th in the entire city? Chen Fan nodded weakly, dabbing sweat from his forehead. I have no idea how he's doing it. Maybe he bribed the scoreboard. The director turned his head sharply, his interest suddenly piqued. What's that? Second highest E-rank student is in the top 50? Why yes, sir. Xiao Yao stammered. The director smirked. Interesting. Either he's cheating, or we've all been underestimating him. Meanwhile, Chen Fan was frantically checking the monitors, only to realize, of course, only the top 10 had camera feeds. No one could see how Xu Jingming was pulling it off. The officials leaned forward, intrigued. Xiao Yao leaned back, terrified. Chen Fan leaned sideways, confused. Somewhere deep inside, a teacher's intuition whispered, that kid is either a genius, or a walking natural disaster. Meanwhile, back in the real action. In the middle of the exam's war-torn streets, Xu Jingming crunched a glass bottle underfoot and casually unwrapped an energy bar, chewing as if on a picnic break instead of a monster hunt. He glanced around. The air was eerily quiet. Fewer beasts, huh? Guess I'm in big boy territory now. He wasn't wrong. In the central zone, ranked beasts ruled their own turf, intelligent, territorial, and homicidally offended by trespassers. Then, He froze. His pupils sharpened like blades. Target acquired. A split second later, a massive striped figure burst from behind a pile of wrecked cars, muscles bulging, teeth gleaming, and forelimbs lined with actual blades. An arm-blade tiger. First-rank fierce beast. The tiger roared, ready to turn him into gourmet human sashimi. Xu Jingming grinned. Perfect. A test dummy with attitude. He planted his spear and spun it lazily. Let's see what my upgraded technique can really do. The tiger lunged, claws slicing through the air like guillotines. Xu Jingming met the attack head-on, his spear deflecting the blow with a metallic clang. Sparks flew. The tiger staggered back, growling. Jingming yawned. That's it. I've fought mosquitoes with more bite. The insult hit home. The beast's eyes flared teal with rage, and it let out a roar that shook the ground. All right, kitty. Jingming smirked. Time to send you to cat heaven. He dashed forward, spear ablur. One precise strike, blood sprayed, the tiger howled. It rose up again, furious and glowing like a boss battle final phase. Jingming smirked, unbothered. You're persistent. I'll give you that. But let's end this before I get hungry again. He spun his spear, lightning crackling around him as energy surged. Spear technique, lightning gale break. A swirling vortex of blue energy roared to life. Jingming vanished into a blur, cutting through the air with spinning arcs of light. The tiger's final roar turned into a dying echo as his technique sliced through its body like a blender through butter. The beast crashed to the ground, motionless. Ding! His smartwatch lit up, first-rank arm-blade tiger defeated, plus 14 ability points. Xu Jingming smirked. Double the reward, half the effort. Nice. He looked around the desolate battlefield, realization dawning like divine revelation. To them, this exam's a death trap. He grinned, tucking his spear behind his back. But to me, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet of power. And with that, he stepped forward, a predator among prey, ready to grind EXP until the scoreboard begged for mercy. The audience stands, where bureaucracy meets chaos. The air in the viewing hall was thick with tension and instant coffee. Rows of officials, teachers, and principals were glued to a massive holographic leaderboard floating before them. And then, rank number 32, Xu Jingming, 328 points. The room collectively gasped. An official squinted at the name like it was a typo. Wait, who is this Xu Jingming? Is he from your class, Teacher Chen Fan? Suddenly, all eyes swiveled toward poor Chen Fan, a mild-mannered teacher who looked like he'd just been called to the principal's office for burning the school down. Ha ha, yes, technically, he said, sweat already forming. The other teachers beamed. Teacher Chen, you've outdone yourself. Only your students broke into the top 50. You must have some incredible teaching methods. Chen Fan waved his hands frantically, smiling the panicked smile of a man about to faint. No. It's all the students' effort. I just provided emotional support. Before anyone could congratulate him further. Wait. Look. Someone shouted. The leaderboard flickered again. Rank number 25, Xu Jingming, 372 points. The hall exploded. What in the world? He just gained 44 points at once. Did he explode a whole zoo? Director Jiang Wenshan narrowed his eyes, mind racing like a calculator on caffeine. A peak-unranked beast is worth 6 to 8 points, and a low-grade first-tier beast gives 14 to 16. Principal Xiao Yao, pale as a ghost, continued the mental math, whispering. And the leaderboard updates every 4 seconds. The two men turned to each other in unison. That means he killed either 5 peak-unranked beasts, or 3 first-tier beasts in 4 seconds. The room fell silent. You could have heard a pencil drop, or an entire teacher faint. Then Director Jiang broke into a wide grin. Now this is exciting. We haven't seen performance like this in years. He turned to Xiao Yao, eyes gleaming. Why haven't I heard of this student before? Xiao Yao gulped. I only just found out about him myself, Director. We'll have to ask his homeroom teacher. He spun toward Chen Fan, who looked like a deer in the headlights. Teacher Chen, step forward and explain this prodigy to our city's educational leaders. Chen Fan straightened, adjusting his glasses with trembling fingers. Why yes, sir. He turned to the table of powerful officials and took a deep breath. Then blurted out. Xu Jingming awakened in E-grade ability. Weak electricity. The silence that followed was deafening. The principal blinked. E-grade? Chen Fan nodded desperately. Yes. The lowest tier. I even advised him not to take the exam. The disbelief in the room was so intense it could have shattered glass. Director Jiang rubbed his chin, eyes glinting with curiosity. An E-grade ability user performing at this level. Either he's cheating, or he possesses remarkable hidden potential. He leaned back in his chair, a shark-like smile forming. Interesting. Let's wait. If he keeps climbing at this rate, he'll hit the top 10 soon. Then we'll get a dedicated camera feed and see exactly what's going on. His tone darkened. But if it's cheating, there will be consequences. Before anyone could respond, Principal Xiao Yao and Chen Fan both jolted upright. Their eyes widened as the leaderboard updated again. Rank number 9, Xu Jingming, 456 points. Gasps erupted. Papers flew. One official nearly dropped his tea. And just below him, rank number 12, Tang Chi. Principal Xiao Yao's jaw nearly hit the floor. He broke into the top 10. Chen Fan could only mutter. He's going to give me a heart attack. Meanwhile, in the exam arena, high above the ruins, Tang Chi sat elegantly atop the corpse of a defeated beast, her cat-like ears twitching and tail swaying smugly. She smiled knowingly, eyes gleaming with mischief. So it was him who blew up the martial arts hall. Her cousin's name on the leaderboard confirmed it. Elsewhere, the top-ranked student Xiaoming Yang, busy turning monsters into meat paste, noticed the unfamiliar name as well. Huh, he murmured, frowning. Never heard of this Xu Jingming, but climbing into the top 10 with 6 hours left? Impressive. He cracked his neck, competitive fire igniting. Let's see if he can keep up. The camera finally finds the mystery man. As promised, a dedicated drone zipped through the air and locked onto Xu Jingming's location, broadcasting live for all of Jiangqing to see. The feed flickered to life. On screen, Xu Jingming casually impaled a massive first-tier beast with his spear. Thunk. The monster dropped like a sack of potatoes. Plus 14 ability points appeared over his wrist display. He chuckled. The efficiency here's way better than in the outer area. Then he noticed the hovering drone. Oh, he said with a grin. Top 10 already? Guess the secret's out. He stood amid the rubble, the glow of lightning dancing around him like a storm given human form. This exam, he mused, eyes sharp. It's not just about survival, it's about proving your worth. Recognition. A sly smirk curved his lips. Then let's stop hiding. He snapped his fingers, lightning sparking between them. Breaking into the top 10? That's just the warm-up. Power surge. Before charging into the deadly core area, Xu Jingming pulled up his system panel. His spear technique had reached advanced level, and he had 312 ability points banked up. He frowned slightly. Still not promoted to ability user. Guess I need a cultivation method for that. Figures. Shrugging, he tapped his wrist display. Fine. Then let's make my body and spirit stronger instead. As the system confirmed his upgrades, lightning flared around him. His physique shot up by 40. His spirit by 22. The ground cracked beneath his feet as power flooded through his veins. He clenched his fist, the air itself trembling. All right, he said, eyes blazing. Time to see what the core area has to offer. And with that, Xu Jingming, the E-rank nobody turned lightning god, strode forward, each step echoing with crackling thunder as the world finally began to take notice. The core area, where even the bravest beasts thought twice before roaring too loud. The air was thick with danger, and the ground looked like it had seen one apocalypse too many. And right in the middle of it all? Xu Jingming, the underdog turned lightning god, staring down a scene straight out of a nightmare buffet. 9 armored tigers, each the size of a jeep and twice as grumpy, were tearing into the corpse of a rhino-like beast, enjoying their all-you-can-eat carnivore brunch. In the middle sat their king, the armored tiger king, a mountain of muscle and malice, casually munching on a leg bone like it was popcorn. Xu Jingming didn't see a death trap. He saw a big, furry pile of EXP points. Just as he readied his spear, he sensed movement, a faint ripple of killing intent. His instinct screamed. You've got company. Without turning, he said coolly. You can stop hiding. I can hear your heartbeat from here. Out stepped Zhou Ming, the current top-ranked student, all neat hair, sharp eyes, and a look that said, I was born with a 4.0 GPA and family connections. Zhou gave a half-smile. Impressive perception. I didn't expect the mystery student who stormed into the top 10 to be you. Xu Jingming cocked his head. And I didn't expect the top student to sneak around like a paparazzi. Zhou chuckled politely, the kind of laugh rich people use when you call them out but they can't get mad because it's true. He then gestured at the tiger pack. I've been observing them. That Tiger King's a mid-grade first-tier beast, and with 9 in the pack, it's suicide to go in solo. Let's team up. Xu Jingming twirled his spear and grinned. Team up? Nah. I'm enough. The confidence in his tone could have cracked the ground. Zhou blinked. You're joking. Nope. You'll see. Before Zhou could argue, Xu Jingming strode straight into the open like he owned the jungle. The tigers froze. Then, as one, they growled, a sound that made even the mountains tremble. The Tiger King rose from its feast, eyes burning with rage. The pack shifted into formation, muscle, claws, and teamwork that would make a military commander jealous. One tiger lunged first, a blur of fur and fangs. Xu Jingming didn't even flinch. His spear began to spin so fast it blurred, forming a glowing circle of lightning. Then, collision whoosh. A single sweeping strike cut through the air like a thunderstorm unleashed. When the dust settled, half the pack was gone. Blood splattered the cracked pavement. System notifications flooded his vision like confetti. Beast slain. Plus 12 points. Beast slain. Plus 14 points. Combo bonus achieved. Zhou Ming, hiding behind a broken wall, nearly choked on his own disbelief. Did he just one-shot them? With a spear? The Tiger King roared in fury, a sound so powerful it shattered nearby windows into a storm of glittering glass. Zhou covered his ears, grimacing. Xu Jingming, however, just sighed. Trying to scare me? Cute. The remaining tigers attacked in unison, but it was like watching slow motion against lightning. Shu parried one, flipped off its back, and landed midair, his spear aimed down like the hammer of gods. High voltage thud. His spear came down in a single, earth-splitting blow. The Tiger King didn't even have time to regret its life choices. Upper rank first order beast eliminated. Plus 20 points. Zhou Ming was slack-jawed. What kind of monster is this guy? Meanwhile, Xu Jingming was all smiles. Man, that's a lot of ability points. I could get used to this. Before he could plan his next hunt, Zhou ran up, demanding. How did you do that? That spear, was that reinforcement? Some hidden physical boost? Xu just grinned, leapt onto a rooftop, and called back over his shoulder. Nah, lightning type. And zap. He was gone in a flash. Zhou stood there fuming. Lightning type, my foot! Then his smartwatch beeped. He checked the leaderboard. And froze. First place, Xu Jingming, 1122 points. Second place, Zhou Ming, 985 points. What? He passed me? Zhou's scream echoed through the ruins louder than the Tiger King's roar. Cut to, the audience stands. The officials went wild. Director Jiang Wen slammed his hand on the table, grinning ear to ear. Ha! Did you see that spear technique? That's not luck, that's genius! He turned to Principal Xiao Yao and clapped him so hard on the back that the poor man nearly coughed up a lung. With Xu Jingming leading, your school's getting into the provincial top 100 for sure. Principal Xiao Yao wiped away tears. After all these years, we finally have a student who's not a disappointment. 3 hours later, Zhou Ming wandered through the core zone, looking like a man who'd lost both his wallet and his dignity. Where are all the beasts? A familiar voice called from behind. You might want to ask the new number one. He turned. Tang Yi, his cousin, stood there with 2 other elite students, Wu Ha and Meng Di, all looking serious. Tang Yi smirked. The reason you can't find any beasts? Xu Jingming killed them all. Zhou's eye twitched. All of them. She showed him her smartwatch. Xu Jingming, 3,435 points. Zhou blinked. That's triple my score. Tang Yi laughed softly. Subtract what he earned earlier, and he's killed nearly 200 beasts alone. Wu Ha sighed. He's not afraid of losing kills. He's monopolizing the map. They all turned toward the distant thunder rumbling in the heart of the core zone, the sound of one man fighting an army. Meng Di looked around at the others and said, There's one place left, the innermost core. Full of second-order beast kings. Going alone is suicide. Wu Ha added. So, Meng Di grinned. Team up? Zhou clenched his fists, fire in his eyes. Count me in. The moon hung over the ruined city like a silent spectator, bathing the broken rooftops in cold silver light. And there, perched atop a mountain of beast corpses like a one-man apocalypse, sat Xu Jingming, cool, calm, and absolutely out of snacks. His spear was stabbed into the pile beside him like a flag of dominance, the metallic scent of blood swirling in the night breeze. He exhaled slowly. Supplies gone. Energy low. Will to keep farming points, still very much alive. He opened his system panel, and his eyes gleamed. Ability points, 2,413. A mischievous grin crept across his face. Well then, let's spend big. Moments later, lightning rippled through his veins. His aura exploded, arcs of violet electricity dancing across the corpse pile as he leveled up. Below, a massive bear-like creature, easily twice the size of a tank, twitched once, then stilled completely. Xu Jingming stood over it, brushing ash off his uniform. Not bad, he murmured, flexing his hand as power hummed through him. Feels like I could wrestle a thunder god now. He gazed out toward the innermost core zone, where the real monsters lived. The kind of creatures that made regular beasts look like house cats. And he was headed straight for them. Meanwhile, in the core zone, the silence shattered as a roar split the night. From the ruins rose a terrifying sight, a colossal, white-furred wolf-like beast, red crystals jutting from its back like a spiked crown. Its eyes glowed a murderous crimson. Every breath it took melted concrete and warped the air. Enter the top students, the so-called elite squad, panting and wide-eyed. That's not a wolf, gasped Zhou Ming, nearly dropping his sword. That's a walking extinction event. Meng Di's face drained of color. That's a bloodthirsty savage bear. Its hide's tougher than E-grade alloy. Even missiles bounce off it. Tanji swallowed hard. So we're supposed to fight that? Zhou threw up his hands. Forget fighting, I'm still processing that it eats tanks for breakfast. The bear let out another earth-shattering roar, swatting a wrecked car across the street like a toy. The group collectively decided life was precious. Let's retreat. Strategically, Tanji suggested weakly. But as they turned, someone shouted. Look! Their eyes darted toward the ruins. A lone figure was walking calmly into the beast-infested street, moonlight glinting off his spear. No way, whispered Tanji. It's him. Xu Jingming stepped into the heart of danger, completely unfazed by the dozens of glowing eyes locking onto him. Zhou Ming nearly screamed. Is he insane? He just alerted the entire horde. The beasts roared in unison and charged, a wave of claws, fangs, and fury. From the rooftop, the students could only watch in horror as Xu Jingming disappeared beneath the sea of monsters. He's done for! Shouted Wu Ha. I have to help him! Cried Tanji, stepping forward. Are you crazy? Meng Di grabbed her arm. That's suicide! Before anyone could say another word. Collision Karakea boom! Collision. A blinding flash erupted from the center of the horde. Purple and blue lightning exploded outward, illuminating the entire skyline like a second sunrise. The shockwave blew debris across the rooftops and forced everyone to cover their eyes. When the light faded, the battlefield was silent. Every single beast lay charred and smoking, the air still humming with static. And in the middle of it all stood Xu Jingming, surrounded by arcs of violet thunder, completely unharmed. So that's the lightning superpower he mentioned. Zhou Ming muttered, wide-eyed. Xu Jingming looked around at the carnage, cracking his neck. Physical strength alone wasn't enough. Guess I had to stretch my lightning legs a little. The purple light in his eyes pulsed like living fire. His S-grade power radiated pure dominance. He turned slowly, and there it was. The bloodthirsty savage bear. Massive. Snarling. Red crystals glowing like magma. It glared at him with primal fury, its roar shaking the buildings around them. Xu Jingming just smiled. Big, slow, and angry. Perfect. He analyzed the beast like a gamer checking stats. Heavy armor, low speed, powerful AoE. Easy enough. But as the ground trembled, he noticed the smaller shapes moving behind it, a swarm of lesser beasts, snapping and growling. He sighed dramatically. Ah. The ads? Always with the ads? His spear began to glow again, crackling with lightning. Fine. Let's clean the stage first. Then he was gone. A streak of violet lightning zipped through the battlefield. Beasts dropped before they even saw him move. A shadow cat leapt, only to be bisected midair. Kill confirmed, plus 13 points. He grinned mid-fight. Man, this lightning buff makes me feel like I'm cheating. His body blurred again, one flash, one kill. A unicorn rhino tried to charge. His spear flashed once, and it collapsed with a thud. Kill confirmed, plus 15 points. Dust settled. The last beast fell. Xu Jingming stood alone once again, lightning crackling in the still air, eyes fixed on the final boss of the exam. Alright, big guy, he said, twirling his spear and smiling. Let's make this finale electrifying. The night sky blazed with lightning as the bloodthirsty savage bear let out an ear-splitting roar. The shockwave alone shattered pavement and flipped cars like tin toys. Opposite the monster stood Xu Jingming, cloaked in crackling violet light, his spear humming with lethal energy. Alright, big guy, he muttered with a smirk. Let's dance. The ground trembled as the beast charged, a mountain of muscle and malice. Xu Jingming leapt into the air, spinning midair like a lightning comet, and brought his spear down in a blazing arc. The strike shattered one of the glowing red crystals on the bear's back. The creature howled in fury, its claws tearing through the air, but Jingming was already gone, a blur of motion, zipping around it with lightning-fast strikes that cracked crystal after crystal. His smartwatch beeped wildly, points racking up faster than a gamer in God mode. From the sidelines, the other students could only stare from the rooftop, jaws dropping. This guy's insane. One whispered. No. Another corrected. He's farming the boss like it's a side quest. Below, the bear smashed through debris in blind rage. Xu Jingming chuckled. Getting angry? Don't worry, he said, grinning. I'll put you out of your misery. But just as he lunged at a final rhino beast, the savage bear moved, shockingly fast for its size, smashing its own minion to pulp to intercept him. The explosion that followed rocked the entire block. Cars went flying. Windows burst. The audience gasped. And yet, as the dust cleared, Xu Jingming landed gracefully amid the wreckage, untouched, lightning flickering off his shoulders. Nice try, he said. But I'm built different. Now only two remained. Man and beast. Thunder and fury. Jingming planted his spear into the ground, lightning swirling around him like a storm given human form. Let's see if that thick skull of yours can handle my thunder. He dashed forward, spear blazing, and drove it straight into the bear's forehead. The world went white. An explosion of violet light swallowed the drones above, even the live feed cut out in static. Cut to the examination hall. Officials, teachers, and students gaped at the blank screen. Director Jiang Wenshan leapt to his feet, yelling. You call that an E-class ability, Xiao Yao? Are you kidding me? Principal Xiao Yao, drenched in sweat, could only stammer. And maybe it's a rare mutation? Another examiner whispered, trembling. He one-shot a high-rank beast. That's something even an A-class user struggles with. Director Jiang laughed in disbelief. Ha! After today, the entire Great Xian nation will remember his name. Back on the battlefield. The smoke finally cleared. The savage bear still stood. Barely. A massive wound split its skull, but it wasn't dead yet. It let out a final, primal roar and swung, sending Xu Jingming flying like a ragdoll. He hit the ground hard, rolling to his feet. TCH. That only scratched it? Guess you really are built like a tank. The bear began glowing with dark energy, its body swelling, eyes burning blood red. Oh no, Jingming said, narrowing his eyes. It's using Berserk. A warning appeared on his system HUD. Berserk state, power X3. Intelligence minus 90%. Duration, 60 seconds. The bear was now pure destruction, roaring, smashing, plowing through rubble like an avalanche with anger issues. So it's stronger but dumber now? Great, Xu Jingming muttered, cracking his neck. That's my kind of fight. He darted around it like a streak of purple light, dodging swipes and stomps that shattered the ground. Waiting. Calculating. Then, his chance. He thrust his lightning-charged spear into the beast's flank, freezing it for just a second. That was all he needed. Alright, let's end this, he growled, raising his hand to the heavens. 9 heavens divine lightning, descend! The sky split open. A pillar of divine thunder crashed down, engulfing the beast in blinding light. Boom. When the light faded, the once mighty bear lay smoking and motionless. Heh. Xu Jingming smirked. After 30 seconds in my divine lightning, even titanium couldn't survive. But then, its eyes snapped open one last time. You've got to be kidding me. The beast lunged. Its jaws opened wide. And froze. The electricity surging through its body paralyzed it mid-bite. It's time, Xu Jingming said softly. He gathered all remaining energy into his spear, eyes glowing violet blue. Lightning gale. Break! The spear struck true. The explosion tore through the bear's skull, creating a shockwave that leveled the block. When the dust finally settled, the giant lay still. Defeated. System notification. You have slain a second-order beast king. Plus 124 ability points. Xu Jingming fell to one knee, breathing hard, then broke into a grin. 2 minutes, he said between breaths. Not bad, that was actually fun. As night fell, the results came in, and the crowd erupted. First place, Xu Jingming, 10,835 points. Second place, Xiaoming Yang, 1,113 points. Third place, Wu Hao, 945 points. The stands went wild. Director Jiang and Principal Xiaoyao were jumping. He broke every record in Jiangnan province. Last year's champion barely hit 8,000. The announcer's voice boomed. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2037 champion of Jiangqing City, Xu Jingming. Aftermath, the legend emerges. Back at the ruined battlefield, Xu Jingming looked to the dark sky, smirking. Still time left, might as well clear the rest. The others stared from the rooftop in shock. He's going back? He's already number 1. He's trying to clear the map. Xiaoming Yan groaned. Damn it, if we don't hurry, we won't even get scraps. And thus, the great endgame scramble began. End of exam. An hour later, the broadcast echoed. The 2037 Jiangqing Martial Arts Entrance Exam has officially ended. Cheers. Groans. Tears. Tanji collapsed with relief. Finally, over. Elsewhere, Xu Jingming stood over his last kill, frowning. Already? I wasn't done yet. The exit and the fame. As the gates opened, students flooded out. Crowds swarmed the exit, chanting. Where is he? Where's Xu Jingming? Then he appeared, calm, tall, spear resting casually on his shoulder. The crowd exploded. Give me 100 of your points. Someone shouted. Marry me, Xu Jingming, yelled another. He just smiled and waved, like a celebrity after a movie premiere. Even Xiaoming Yang could only laugh. That monster, he earned it. VIP pickup. Before he could reach the bus, Principal Xiao Yao and Director Jiang intercepted him. No bus for you, young hero. You ride with us. Moments later, Xu Jingming was in a sleek black car speeding through the night, city lights reflecting in the window. Director Jiang turned to him. So, which superpower university will you choose? Xu Jingming blinked. Honestly, I've been too busy, not dying to think about it. Jiang laughed. Well, with your results, any school in the country will fight for you. But I'd suggest one of the top 3. He listed them like treasures from a hidden vault. Qingjing Superpower University, the government's elite academy. Modi University, home to the best resources and fiercest duels. Jingqing Superpower University, the oldest and most mysterious of them all. Their cultivation methods are top tier. Jiang explained. With a beginner's method, you need 4 years to advance. With theirs, half a year. Xu Jingming listened, thoughtful, a faint smile on his lips. The car drove into the night, thunder rolling faintly overhead. Top universities, huh? He murmured, eyes glinting with ambition. Let's see which one can keep up. The next morning, Xu Jingming stepped into the shower like a champion who had just conquered Mount Impossible. Steam filled the bathroom, and with it, the heavy memories of the exam seemed to melt away. As the warm water ran down his back, he checked his shimmering system panel that floated in midair, Because of course it did. Every transmigrator worth their lightning has won. Ability points, 2,534. He grinned. 2,534, yep, that's enough to buy me a seat in a superpower university. Maybe even the fancy cafeteria meal plan. Feeling quite proud of himself, Xu Jingming dried off and started thinking ahead. I wonder if they have beast-killing competitions once I enroll. Maybe I can finally put this E-grade lightning to use instead of charging my phone. He made a mental note, go into the wilderness, kill a few beasts, get stronger, look cool doing it. The plan sounded flawless, until the front door decided to betray him. Meanwhile, across the hall, his cousin Tang Qi arrived with her mother, and Xu Qingwan. The first thing Tang Qi noticed was that Xu Jingming's door looked, well, battle-tested. It's broken, she whispered, eyes lighting up. Perfect chance for a surprise. Before her mother could object, Tang Qi tiptoed in, full of enthusiasm and zero foresight, and shouted, "Surprise!" What she found, however, was not a party. It was Xu Jingming, dripping wet, wearing nothing but a towel, hair steaming, and holding his toothbrush like a sword. The universe froze. Tang Qi turned bright red. Her mother's jaw dropped. Xu Jingming blinked in pure horror. And Xu Qingwan was the first to recover, sort of. "Jingming! What on blue star are you doing? And what happened to your apartment? It looks like a beast ran through it." Which, to be fair, wasn't entirely false. A quick flashback rolled in. After his parents' death, and Xu Qingwan had stepped in as his guardian, practically raising him as her own son. She cooked, cleaned, scolded, and even occasionally spoiled him with his favorite fried rice. In short, she'd been the only bit of family warmth in his otherwise chaotic, transmigrated life. Now, seated on the couch with his aunt and Tang Qi, who still refused to look him directly in the eye, the atmosphere finally calmed. "Jingming," his aunt began, voice soft but worried. "I almost had a heart attack when I heard you took the martial arts exam. Thank heavens you're safe. The score doesn't matter, as long as you're alive." He blinked. "Wait. Auntie, you mean Tang Qi didn't tell you my results?" Tang Qi smirked mischievously. "Hee, I thought it'd be more dramatic if you said it yourself." Jingming scratched his cheek, suddenly bashful. "Well, I guess I did okay. Scored a bit over 10,000 points." His aunt took a sip of tea, and immediately spat it out. "PFFT, what?" "Yup." Tang Qi chimed in, all smiles. "Exactly 11,124 points." For a full 5 seconds, and Xu Qingwan just stared. Then she burst into tears of joy, pulling Jingming into a hug that nearly cracked his ribs. "The Xu family finally has a successor. Your parents in heaven must be so proud." Tang Qi wiped a tear, then muttered. "They're also probably laughing that you scared us half naked." Meanwhile, in a sleek, high-tech conference room somewhere in the capital, a group of university recruiters were losing their collective minds. A holographic screen displayed the name Xu Jingming, age 17, E-class ability, weak electricity, exam score, 11,124. An E-class scored over 10,000? That's impossible, one recruiter shouted. Maybe his lightning fried the sensors. Another joked. A third leaned forward seriously. No. If that score's real, we recruit him immediately. The room erupted in debate. He must have cheated. Or maybe he's secretly A-class. Maybe he bribed the system with electricity. Before chaos could reign any longer, the conference room doors slid open. A tall woman with sharp eyes and a tone that could silence thunder stepped in. "Enough," she said coolly. The room went silent. "List Xu Jingming as an S-class special recruit, for now," she ordered. "I'll personally go to Jiangqing to confirm whether this boy is a prodigy, or a fraud." The morning after the exam, Xu Jingming woke up, still half dreaming of lightning bolts and glory. He stretched, grabbed his phone, and nearly fell out of bed when a notification popped up. Breaking news, Jiangnan Province Martial Arts Exam results released. Top rank, Xu Jingming, score, 11,124 points. For a full 3 seconds he just stared. Then he blinked. Then he screamed internally. "Wait, that's me!" He jumped up, fist pumping like a man who just hit the jackpot. The towel from yesterday's fiasco nearly made a comeback as he danced around the room. "Top scholar! Me! The E-grade walking battery of Jiangqing! Ha! Who's trash now, Huan Tian?" Internet explosion, dark horse from Jiangqing. By noon, the internet was in flames. The news that an E-class student from a small city had scored the highest in the entire province spread faster than free Wi-Fi. Hashtags filled the trending list. Hashtag Xu Jingming mystery. Hashtag E-class monster. Hashtag is he even human? Online forums went wild. "No way, that's fake news. He probably hacked the scoring system. I want to see the video. Show us the footage." The skeptics and conspiracy theorists had a field day. Some swore he used steroids. Others believed he was secretly an A-class mutant pretending to be humble. The award ceremony, proof, praise, and pure shock. To silence the doubts, the Jiangqing Education Bureau held a grand award ceremony. Principal Xiao Yao, wearing his best suit and his widest grin, stood proudly on stage. When a sharp-eyed reporter raised her hand and asked, "Principal Xiao, can you guarantee these results are real?" He didn't even flinch. "Of course," he said confidently. "The full exam video is uploaded to the school website. See for yourselves." Minutes later, the internet collectively gasped. The video showed Xu Jingming piercing the skull of a Tier 1 rhinoceros beast with a single lightning-charged spear thrust. "That's stronger than a Tier 1 superhuman. But his file says E-class? What kind of stun baton does that much damage?" Principal Xiao Yao beamed like a proud father at a graduation. "As you can see, the results are completely fair. Xu Jingming is the first student from Jiangqing to become the provincial top scholar." Thunderous applause filled the hall. Then came the grand moment. Xiao Yao presented Xu Jingming with an oversized check, because of course it was oversized. 1 million yuan, he announced. "And in addition, the city government will match the amount and award a luxury villa." Cameras flashed wildly. Xu Jingming smiled awkwardly, trying not to look too shocked. "A villa? For stabbing a rhino? I should have done this sooner." Suspicious eyes and storm clouds brewing. Outside the ceremony, a black luxury car waited. Leaning against it stood a commanding woman in sunglasses, flanked by 2 bodyguards who looked like they bench-pressed tanks for fun. She watched the footage replay on her tablet and frowned. "The school released the video, yes, but that doesn't prove he didn't use performance enhancers. The real test," she said coldly, "is to confirm his superpower level." The wind carried her words like the promise of a coming storm. The recruiter's arrival, when universities go to war. Meanwhile, inside a meeting room at Jiangqing High, Principal Xiao Yao was sweating bullets. He nervously poured tea for 3 people who were definitely not normal humans. The air shimmered with spiritual pressure so thick it could have crushed a watermelon. They weren't parents. They were recruiters, from the nation's 3 greatest superpower universities. At the center sat Zhang Xiaoyui, short grayish-purple hair, sharp gaze, and a smile that said, "I eat paperwork and weaklings for breakfast." She was the admissions director of Moda's Superpower University. Across from her sat Suyun, elegant in a light blue dress from Qingjing University, sipping tea as if she owned the room. And next to her lounged Wu Yuan, the brooding representative from Jin City University, his long black hair tied back like he was auditioning for a martial arts drama. The tension was thicker than spirit essence soup. Zhang Xiaoyu smirked. "So, which one of you plans to fight me for the boy?" Suyun chuckled. "Don't play dumb. If his results are genuine, Qingjing will have him." Wu Yuan scoffed. "Dream on. He's clearly Jin City material. We value raw power, not pretty faces." Energy crackled between them, literal sparks flying, until the door slid open. The lightning enters. In walked Xu Jingming, casually carrying his spear over his shoulder like he'd just come from a light workout. The recruiters turned to look. The pressure in the air shifted, but he didn't flinch, just smiled politely. "Good afternoon, teachers." This kid, he didn't even blink under triple spiritual suppression? Thought Zhang Xiaoyui, intrigued. His aura was calm yet alive, like thunder waiting for command. Principal Xiao Yao hurried to make introductions. "Directors, this is Xu Jingming, our top scholar. Jingming, these are Director Zhang Xiaoyui from Moda University, Director Su Yun from Qingjing University, and Minister Wu Yuan from Jin City University." Zhang Xiaoyui leaned forward, her eyes gleaming. "Your combat technique in that exam video was exceptional. But tell me, why does your power no longer seem like an E-class lightning ability?" The lightning revelation. Xu Jingming smiled faintly. He had expected this. "Well, before the exam, while training at home, I was struck by natural lightning. After that, my power got much stronger." The room went silent. Wu Yuan raised an eyebrow. "A mutation, then?" Su Yun nodded slowly. "A rare one at that." Zhang Xiaoyui's eyes sparkled with interest. "Then you probably don't know your true level. Lucky for you, I brought a superpower detection device." She placed the glowing circular instrument on the table. "Just focus your power into it." Xu Jingming did as told, and the room erupted. A surge of purple-white lightning burst from his body, flooding the device. The walls flickered, the lights dimmed, and for a second, it felt like the heavens themselves blinked. The machine started beeping frantically. Beep! Beep! BZAP! Cracks formed. Then boom! The instrument exploded in a flash of golden light, sparks flying everywhere. Principal Xiao Yao ducked behind the sofa. What's happening?" Wu Yuan and Su Yun, however, were grinning ear to ear. "He overloaded it," said Wu Yuan, eyes gleaming. "That means his ability is S-class at the very least," added Su Yun. Zhang Xiaoyui folded her arms, smirking. "I knew it. We bet on the right horse." The room erupted again, not in lightning this time, but in chaos as the recruiters began arguing over who got to recruit the new prodigy. The air inside the meeting room crackled, not just from residual lightning, but from tension so thick you could slice it with a plasma blade. 3 of the nation's strongest recruiters stood across from one smugly calm teenager, each ready to sell their university's soul for him. Before Principal Xiao Yao could even refill his trembling teacup, Wu Yuan from Jin City University slammed his palm on the table. Fine. I'll start, he barked. Jin City University offers an admission bonus of 4 million yuan, a full set of C-class combat equipment, and unlimited access to all superpower training methods for all 4 years. He leaned back smugly, clearly thinking he just dropped a tactical nuke of an offer. Principal Xiao Yao nearly fainted. 4 million? That's more than my salary since the school was founded. But Su Yun from Qingjing University just let out a soft laugh, elegant, confident, and 10% condescending. The lady raises the stakes. Director Wu, she said sweetly, turning her head just enough for her earrings to sparkle under the fluorescent light. Your offer is cute. Then she faced Xu Jingming, her tone turning warm, almost hypnotic. Xu Jingming, dear, Qingjing University offers you 5 million yuan and full access to S-class superpower training methods and advanced combat techniques for all 4 years. The words hit the room like a thunderclap. Wu Yuan's smirk shattered. S-class methods? For a freshman? Principal Xiao Yao was gripping his chair like it was a roller coaster bar. If I'd been this talented as a student, maybe someone would have paid me 5 yuan instead of confiscating my phone. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming's face twitched. He wasn't sure which shocked him more, the number or the fact that she said dear, in a way that made him feel like he'd accidentally become the male lead in a romance novel.
And this is how this part of this manhwa ends. Also in the future I will be bringing more and more exciting videos. Please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, hit the like button and stay tuned until the next video.